The other, I just want to go through a few things he said he's going to get rid of. He's going to repeal Trump's ban on travel from Muslim majority countries, from some Muslim majority countries.
Wow.
So this was the falsely reported Muslim ban, which isn't a Muslim ban. These are terrorist states.
The 7 countries that Obama, do you know where he got the list? I'm sure you guys do, but anyone you share this with? Yeah, the 7 countries were already under travel restrictions by Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Already. Obama picked those countries.
Yeah, and this is not...
All he did... Yeah.
Go ahead. This is not new stuff.
No, it's not new stuff. It's just anyone you're talking to who's in the echo chamber doesn't know this stuff. And I guess I still hope that our videos get shared with people who are asleep.
Yeah, but it's not new. I mean, it has been illegal to do business with Iran, for example, or like there are rules. Do I agree with all of the rules all the time? Obviously not, especially given my politics. But there are rules about involvement with certain governments and certain states. And it's completely reasonable if you're worried about actors from particular states doing something to have travel restrictions on those. It's not a racist thing, but he's going to repeal it. And by the way, Joe Biden is not repealing it because he believes that it's actually a racist thing or that it will make the country safer. He's doing it because it's a virtue signal. It's called the Muslim ban, so he's going to undo the Muslim ban because he's going to virtue signal. Okay. He's going to reinstate Go ahead.
Wait. So what they do is they create a narrative and then they're beholden to the own narrative they've created. So they created this phony narrative way back when, because, everything that Trump was doing, they tried to come out. It wasn't enough just to challenge him on or criticize him on the things that he should be criticized on. It was they had to make up stuff, too. That was one of the things that started to wake me up. So they made this up. That was startling to me when I found that out. It was like, wait a minute, this isn't a Muslim ban. This is a travel ban to 7 specific countries that have high incidence of terrorism. And the list was created by Obama because Obama already put restrictions on them. All he's doing is increasing the restrictions for a while. But they made this lie. They created this narrative. They said, oh my God, Trump is targeting Muslims and that's somehow racist, even though that Islam's a religion and not a race. But he's targeting Muslims and it's racist. And they put that narrative out there. They pretended like he chose these countries. They put the narrative out there. They pretended it was about targeting Muslims and they pretended that was somehow racist. They created a narrative to stoke panic in people. Remember, all the leftists went to the airports and were protesting in LA and stuff. They are now beholden to that narrative. It's what we talked about before, the big lie. You create a big lie, you get people to believe it. You yourself are now beholden to this lie. Everyone's going through the motions. They're gaslighting people. They can't step back from that lie now. The lie was that he did this. So what's one of the first things they have to do? Of course, this is on the list. We got to get rid of that Muslim ban we told you about, guys. So now they're going to find themselves in a position where they're rolling back restrictions that Obama put on 7 countries that have high incidence of terrorism. They're rolling back restrictions that are there to protect us, that they set in place, that President Obama, when Joe Biden was vice president, that they set in place. They're going to get rid of that. You know why? Because they're more beholden to the lie that they created than they are to protecting us.
Yep. He's going to reinstate the DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which allows, quote, dreamers who are illegal immigrants who are brought to the United States as children to remain in the country. Why would you do that? Well, because I guarantee, he hasn't said this, but I guarantee he has a path for citizenship that he's going to try and push. And the primary reason for this is not anything ideological. The primary reason is that they believe that the vast majority of the people who would be made citizens will vote Democrat. That's why. That's the only reason. They're gonna talk about how they care so much and blah 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 blah, but that's not the reason. If all of the quote undocumented immigrants, or if a majority of them were libertarians, they would be building a wall. The Democrats would be spending every last they'd be building a wall, and they would have military in the cities escorting people out and banging in doors and pulling out the Mexicans. If they thought Mexicans were going to vote libertarian, they would be deported faster than Joe Biden can forget where he is. So,
and again, this is another case of it's not just that they want the voter base, it's also sticking to the narrative. They created another false narrative. You know, the pictures of kids in cages, those photos were taken when Obama was president. But they created this narrative that this is all Trump hates immigrants and he's just so again. And they moved. Trump's speeches are not that different from Obama's speeches and from Clinton's speeches. They also were in favor of, restrictions on illegal immigration. You can take some of their speeches side by side, and if you were just to write them out, give them to a leftist, they would probably say, "Oh, that's a Trump speech," when it was actually an Obama speech or a Clinton speech. Because they don't know.
A Biden speech from the 90s. Biden's speeches from the 90s are not much different.
Biden's speeches were not much different at all. But they had to move because the culture moved and the narrative moved. And so now they have this narrative. What do? They have to be beholden to the narrative. Yeah. A lot of this is just dictated by being beholden. This is what Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote about lies, and about how lies can corrupt and take down a society, and how every one of us should be committed to speaking truth and do not participate in the lies. That's the only way you take it down, because otherwise our society is going to crumble. They are more beholden to the false narrative they've set up than they are to reality. They have to protect this false narrative. They have to protect the big lie.
I mean, that's why they invented they make stuff up that works for them, and then they stick with it. I mean, this is, this isn't new. None of this is new, right?
Yeah.
He will rejoin the World Health Organization. Woohoo. And he will rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. Mm-hmm. So, I think we'll see a Green New Deal type thing coming off of Biden-Harris presidency. Someone said that Harris is going to invoke the 25th Amendment. I'm not sure she's going to have to. I would not be surprised if Biden steps down before the 4 years is up. I would not be surprised if he was like, well, health reasons, blah, 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 because it would give Kamala Harris a chance to run as an incumbent. And I don't know that I'm not actually convinced that Biden wants to be running. I don't know that he cares. So
no, because he didn't run last time.